This is the third part to using the laser engraver. So to start off with, I'm going to turn the laser engraver on. Okay, and I'm just going to, once I press this on button, I'm going to switch to a camera. So what's going to happen is the laser engraver, and this is inside the laser engraver, it's just going to initialize and basically get itself into the right position to start off with. Okay, so now that it's set, okay, basically you are ready to go. Okay, now in the previous installment I have already showed you how to do all the settings, so this is not to deal with any settings now, it's actually focusing the laser. So I'm going to switch back to the screen and just show you what I have to do here. So the one thing I have to do is actually focus the beam. So I'm going to press on focus view, and I'm actually going to move on the screen. I'm going to focus it out to about here, and just so I have a piece of plastic to work on. So I'm going to click, and when I do that, you're going to see that the laser engraver bed moved, and it's sitting over here. And what I want to do now is take this tool, okay, and actually focus the beam. Now, if I need to move the bed up and down, on the control panel right here, okay, there's only two things I need to do. It's either down, and the bed moves down, or up. You don't press start, you don't press power or pause at all. So I'm going to put this back in place and just move it a tiny bit so you can see this. So I'm going to move the bed down a bit. I'm going to take this focusing tool, put it up against, and what you're going to see is there's a notch on the actual focusing tool. And as I raise the bed up, you're going to see it's going to get close to that notch. And when I'm very close, it's going to, or the focusing tool is going to move away. So you'll see it right there. And it just moves away. That is now the beam focused. So I'm going to remove the tool. Okay. Next thing is I want to place the plastic. So if I back up a bit, you'll see that the plastic here is sitting on the honeycomb table, and I'm going to put it to the side, and there's an edge. Just lift this up a tiny bit so you can see the edge over there, and I'm going to slide it to the edge as well. Now that basically coincides with 0, 0. Right? So this upper corner is, if you were to use in Adobe Illustrator, if you wanted something to be a 1/4 inch away, basically because this is set to 0, 0 and 1/4, you'd be exactly, or 0, 0 in the corner, you'd be exactly 1/4 inch away when you pressed cut. So I'm going to put this back down. Okay, I'm going to switch back to my software now. So now you can see that I'm basically about 1 inch away and about 1 inch down. So that means this is going to cut 1 inch away by 1 inch down. Now if I want to move that, I can just select relocate and actually grab this and move it a lot closer. So I'm going to do that. So it's a lot closer now, and I'm basically at the stage of being able to cut. So I'm going to leave this in here. I'm going to close the lid of the laser, and we're going to go back to here and you can actually watch it work. So I'm just going to press cut here first off, or start engraving, and you can now see it going back and forth. So right now it's pressing, or it's engraving the word test, and once it's finished the word test, it will cut out the piece of plastic. Now depending on what you're doing, and if you're doing a whole sheet, this could take upwards of ½ an hour. So you have to plan out how much work is being done, how long it's going to take, because there is a lot of work involved. If you're going across 12 inches back and forth constantly, or 24 inches, it will take quite a while. So the word is appearing, you can barely see it on there now. The finished product will come out in a second. But basically it's whipping back and forth, 100% speed. And you'll see that when it finishes the word, it's going to cut at a much slower rate. Okay. All along at any time, if I lifted up the lid, it would automatically stop the laser, and I couldn't do anything else. Right? I could resume it. Okay, so now it's cutting, going slow, and you can see the exhaust coming off right now. If you don't have the extraction fume or hood on in the classroom, the entire class will stink, and the fumes are not good. So you got to make sure that in my office you turn on the exhaust fan and have that done. Okay, obviously for this example the exhaust fan is off, and that is it. Okay, it's done. It returns back to its original spot. I'm going to and we'll let it clear, and I'm just going to lift the plastic up, and I'm left with my test piece, which is pretty cool. Okay, but that is how to actually use a laser engraver, focus it, and have it cut out. Just remember, turn on the exhaust fumes.